Hi! As we all know, on the 7th of October, Palestinian militant groups led by Hamas launched thousands of rockets into Israel, and gunmen infiltrated southern Israel. Many citizens of Israel were kidnapped, and the PM of Israel declared a state of war. And this is not the first instance. It also happened in 2021, 2014, 2012, 2008. But this conflict didn't start a few decades back. It dates back thousands of years in history. The founding of Israel dates back to biblical times, approximately 3,000 years. According to historical and religious texts, the ancient kingdom of Israel was established in the 11th century BCE in present-day Israel, West Bank, and Gaza Strip. A series of kings ruled it. First king was King Saul, who King David succeeded. He made Jerusalem the capital. After him, his successor King Solomon made the first Jewish temple in Jerusalem. After his death, the United Kingdom was split into two, the Kingdom of Judah and the Kingdom of Israel. Later, many conquests subsequently reduced the Jewish population in these regions. In one of these conquests by the Roman Empire, they renamed the Kingdom of Judah to Palestine, to reduce the connection of Jewish people to this land. Christianity's influence was also rising during this period. In the 7th century, the Arab conquest started, and they captured Israel and built the Dome of Rock, making Jerusalem a holy land for three religions: Jews, Islam, and Christianity. Due to these crusades, Christians tried to reclaim Jerusalem, but this ended in the victory of Muslims. From the 16th century to World War I, this land was under the Ottoman Empire, and they named it Palestine. In the 20th century, Zionism started to pick up pace among Jews in Europe. Under this, many Jews migrated back to Palestine to create a Jewish state. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire collapsed, and this land came under British. Britain offered Jews a Jewish state under the Balfour Declaration to get their cooperation. Arabs were against this, and conflict started between Jews and Arabs. As the conflict grew, the British also restricted migration of Jews in the region to control the situation, which led to Jews resisting British rule. During Holocaust, many Jews ran to Palestine to seek refuge, and significantly increased Jewish population, and the armed violence also rose. As World War II started, British slowly withdrew its army, and after the end of the war, British handed over the Palestine issue to UN. In 1947, UN proposed the partition of Palestine into Israel and Palestine. Jerusalem was given a special international status. This was rejected by Arabs because they were offered less land than Jews despite being greater in population. Britain completely withdrew in 1948, and Israel declared itself independent, leading to a full-fledged war known as Arab-Israel War. Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, and Jordan invaded Israel in an attempt to establish a unified Arab Palestine. But Israel won the war and got control over 2/3 Palestine territory, more than what UN allotted them. A year later, a ceasefire was signed, and Jordan got control of West Bank while Egypt got control of Gaza Strip. In 1967, the Six-Day War broke out, which was a brief but significant conflict that took place involving Israel and a coalition of Arab states, including Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. Israel swiftly won this war. Its ground forces advanced rapidly, capturing significant territory in just 6 days. They took control of the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip from Egypt, the West Bank, East Jerusalem from Jordan, and the Golan Heights from Syria. The war led to the displacement of Palestinian populations, and they were forced to settle in West Bank, Gaza Strip, or in Israel neighboring countries. After 6-day war, Egypt and Israel tried to improve their relations and signed a peace treaty. Egypt recognized Israel as a country, and Israel returned Sinai Peninsula to Egypt. Other Arab countries also started to recognize Israel. But it didn't end there. The Palestine Liberation Organization was formed in Cairo, Egypt in 1964. It was a political and militant organization with aim to liberate Palestine. It launched a series of terrorist attacks from Jordan to Israel. Later, it was expelled from Jordan, was forced to relocate to Lebanon. It then carried out terrorist attacks from Lebanon. Then fighting went until Israel invaded Lebanon and kicked PLO out from Beirut. PLO leaders dispersed to neighboring Arab countries and eventually relocate in Tunisia. They started to change their approach and negotiate with Israel. However, these peace talks were threatened in 1987 when an Israel military truck collided with two civilians' Palestine truck, killing 4 people. This led to First Intifada, which led to a violent uprising by Arabs in Palestine. This event triggered a peace process between PLO and Israel. 2 Oslo Accords were signed, one in USA in 1993 and second in Egypt in 1995. According to these accords, West Bank was divided into 3 areas. Area A under Palestine control, Area B under both Israel and Palestine control, and Area C under Israel control. But this peace didn't last long, and Second Intifada broke out in 2000. It was sparked after the Ariel Sharon, then the Israeli opposition leader, made a provocative visit to the Al-Aqsa compound on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Palestine people found it offensive, and violence broke out. This violence ended with withdrawal of Israelis from Gaza, but they continued to settle in West Bank. Hamas is a Palestinian political and militant organization. It was founded in 1987 during the First Intifada against Israeli rule. It aims to destroy Israel to establish an Arab state. After a violent conflict between Hamas and Fatah, who managed the PLO, Hamas went to Gaza and gained power there. Israel put Gaza in a suffocating blockade which led to several bloody wars between these two groups. Fatah and Hamas signed a peace treaty to form a united government and stop violence in Gaza. However, conflict hasn't ended, and war is still waging on even today. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There will be more informative videos like this in the future, so stay tuned.